I'm going to hand it over to Diana. So Diana's our lead IT person, and we love her. She makes everything run.
Hello. Can everybody hear me okay?
Hello, yes, I can.
Okay, great. So I've also shared my screen, so you should be able to see that as well. You should be looking at the No Sweat website. And just give me a heads up, a hands up, confirm you can see it.
Good. Looks good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Great. So rather than have to kind of remember a bunch of different URLs or anything else like that, we have a really fast, easy way for you to submit any kind of request to us, a question, change request, or a bug you potentially see, all in one place. And it's simple as going to this nice big red button up here that says Help Center. And if you actually click that, it then takes you to our Help Center. Now, the nice thing here is we try to keep this simple and clean. So we do have some frequently asked questions that I'll just pop into for 1 second to show you. You know, how, if you're wondering, you know, I don't know what to do when I got here, how requests are handled, there's a description, time of day, what if my request is an emergency, and what if there's something on my screen now that you want to take a picture. We have a very quick and wonderful resource here because everybody has.
Right there. I'm going to stop you right there. I want to actually back up and go through all these. I think they're worth going through one by one. So we've always had, well, always in at least the recent memory, had the policy that if you send us a request by 5 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, and it's a routine request, obviously, something like, please change my phone number or swap out this photo, and it's complete. You send us everything that we need. By the end of the day, Wednesday, Diana and her team will have it done by noon that Saturday. So what that means is, you know, if you send it on Friday, it's not done on Saturday. It could take as long as a week. As most subscribers know, we aim to be as responsive as possible. And I think unless there's something crazy going on, you'll be very pleasantly surprised in the turnaround time. But our commitment is, if we have it by 5 o'clock Wednesday and it's complete, you'll see it reflect on your site by Saturday. And Diana notifies you through this system when you, similar to sending us an email, but better, when you submit a ticket, when you submit a request here, you'll receive notification. Both Diana and I are notified through email. And Diana will be the one who will be following up in almost every case, unless it's obviously something for me. But she's the one who's tasked with following up, and I get copied on everything. Okay, so let's go to the next. Yeah. So what if your request is an emergency? Now, I always like to say, in most businesses, in most of our businesses, there should be no emergencies, right? So an emergency is, oh my God, my website's down. And we have systems in place that notify us immediately if a website is down for any reason. You know, almost every web host service, and Diana, chime in to fix if I screw it up. Every hosting service, no one will guarantee 100% uptime. And so, you know, what I see in my emails, especially, of course, when we just moved everyone over to a new server, but we get a notification, you know, Don Strickler's site is down, which I could kind of care less when that happens. Just kidding. So Don Strickler's site is down, and then I'll see 10 seconds later, Don Strickler's site is back up. So that's...
Can you mute her?
So let's say for whatever reason, and gosh, we haven't had this, you know, I don't even want to say it. When was that offshore, that horrible attack we had, Diana?
October 2015.
She remembers. I've blocked it. We did have a really horrendous situation in October of 2015 where we were attacked. And so, you know, if that were to ever happen again, we have systems in place where we could restore all the websites. I was going to say easily, but of course there'll be nothing easy about it, but it would happen within a day. So if your site, let's say one of the more common emergency requests is, oh my God, I went into my site to change some words on my bio, and by mistake, I screwed up everything and I don't know what to do. And my bio page looks horrible, for example. So that's something that, you know, that we can take care of for you. And so what we're asking is that you put, if it's an emergency, put the word urgent right at the beginning of the request, and Diana will show you that. And if it's an emergency and you don't receive an email response within an hour, I'm asking you to text me, and my phone number is right there. And everybody should also have that in their phones. Okay. Well, this happens all the time, Diana, right? You want to talk about this one?
Yep. So if you're seeing something on your screen, or you want to point out somewhere on particular on your website that you want us to take a look at, like something new that you want to have, just going to go somewhere, screenshots are incredibly helpful. That reduces our time significantly in being able to either troubleshoot or just to understand where we want to go.
So I'm going to jump in. So, so like if you're looking at your site on an iPad or on your phone and you're thinking, this doesn't look right. I don't like the way that it's not laying out correctly. There's a problem. We do not know what phone you're looking at, whether it's an Android or an Apple. We don't know if you're looking at an iPad or a PC-based tablet or a desktop or a laptop or whatever, and we don't know what page you're looking at. And so it's literally impossible for us to even respond until we know what you're looking at. And the way you can give us, so we're going to ask you a few questions, and we'll be going through that in a few minutes. But the most important piece of information is a screenshot. So go ahead, Diana. That shows us what you see on your screen.
Yes, and one of the big things is the fact that between different devices and different platforms, the method of taking the screenshot can be quite different. So this very handy website, I'm going to open it up here so you can see it, gives you the instructions. It's not a pretty site, but it does give you the instructions for every single device and browser experience that you can then how to take a screenshot. So if you're wondering and you don't do these on a regular basis, come here and it'll automatically default to your operating system. So I'm on a Mac, so it's automatically giving me the Mac tab. And then it even has a video to show you how to do the key commands to get that screenshot.
And this is one of those things that's really easy once you know it, and not so easy if you don't know it. But it's absolutely crucial to troubleshooting. Does anyone have any questions on that, on the concept of a screenshot? Okay. And so if for any reason you just don't want to do that, you don't, then it's going to require a one-on-one phone call with Diana or one of her staff. And if you would like to do that, we do offer that. We have to charge you for that. Please make it easier for us to give you free support quickly, and send us a screenshot. And we'll see in a few minutes where you can exactly upload the screenshot.
Okay. So I'm going to come back over here to where you typically would have arrived. And our system is as simple as going up to the top here and submitting a request. And like we said before, requests include everything from a change to a question. Those all get covered here. So if you click this, then you're going to start by entering your email address. This is not only required, but also the way that the ticket is going to be able to communicate with you. It's where you're going to receive the automatic notification that it got submitted. And then when we actually reply to that ticket through our system, that's where it will actually go to, is back to that email address.
So Diana, this is going to be awesome because we're going to actually have a place where we can easily see any and all communication, and stuff at our end won't get lost in our inboxes where someone's emailed Diana and they forgot to copy me and it's not in any system. And then a week later, you're justifiably mad, our subscribers mad that they haven't heard from us, and because there's no system. So this is a really huge improvement that, I mean, not that we screw up often, but we do screw up occasionally. So.
Yep. And this ensures too that there's redundancy. So there's, you know, if your request comes through and one of us, like for some reason, we're not available for something going on, a conference or something, you know, Mary Lisa's seeing it, and if she's not available, we're seeing it. So there's always somebody who will definitely be seeing it. So
do you want to just fill it in so we can actually demo, like show them how to fill it in? Okay. So we're asking, right, go ahead.
No. So the subject line is important here. It's very important, and we're going to give you some key tips here on how to enter. So the most important one is sometimes your email addresses aren't exactly clear to who you are. So putting your last name in here as the first thing will help us tremendously in being able to filter through and see like, oh, that's a request from Toby, that's a request from Peggy, that's a request from Don. So I'm going to put my last name, and then.
And if you don't do that, we'll probably respond with, you know, who's this? Just kidding. Who this? I don't know. No, we probably will say, you know, just want to.
There's a confirmation.
I mean, obviously, if it's in your email address, it's different. But quite a few subscribers have email addresses that don't include their names.
Correct. So your subject line, contrary to some opinions, should not be paragraphs. It should be just clear, to the point, unique. So for example, if you're looking for a change request for your blog name, we would do something like this. Please change my blog name. Now, if this were something that were urgent and something was happening, go back to the beginning of that line here and put urgent.
Yeah.
That will help us tremendously. Of course, and our system will also ask you if it's an emergency.
Hopefully you never have to do that.
Correct. So ideally, you won't be doing that, so we're going to pull that out. Now, your description is where you're going to be as descriptive as possible. Too much is never too much. It'll always, don't worry about being too wordy. More the better. It's easier. The less times that we have to go back and forth and go, what about this? So yeah, definitely put in as much as possible. So for here, we're actually going to say, I would like to change my blog name from blog.
You're very polite. I would just say change to my journal. No. None of my subscribers would do that.
No.
So news from Diana. There we go.
So that's the kind of thing that we're looking for. If you had potentially seen a bug or anything like that, just do. As a person who receives support tickets, it's always best if this was a request regarding like, hey, I'm going to my website on my phone, this is happening. Be as descriptive as possible. So I would say something like, whenever I visit my website on my phone, I see this bar on top of the screen. Be as descriptive as possible. Then we have an area down below here where if this is not just a request and you're actually seeing a problem, tell us where. Telling us where, and you can check off as many as make sense. This helps narrow down our time significantly in being able to then troubleshoot and try to figure out what exactly is happening. We have broken these down by whether it's desktop, a tablet, or phone, and then whether it's Mac for the operating system or Windows. Tablets are for iPads, or if you have like a Samsung. Phones, iOS and iPhone, and then Android phones. Obviously, if there's something else that you have that we don't know of, just put it up in the description, and we will work from there.
So I'm going to say that right here, we don't specifically ask what browser you're using.
No.
And so, again, that would be something that, that if you think of it and you know what browser you're using, you might put that in the description too. So for example, I was using Constant Contact the other day and it was not displaying correctly on Chrome. So I went over to Safari and it displayed correctly. There's no reason for that. It's crazy, but that was reality. And so it would have helped Constant Contact to know that. So they didn't have to check all the different browsers to replicate the problem.
Correct. And below that, you'll see we have a note here that says, please check all that apply where you're seeing, and then use the attachment area immediately below to upload a screenshot. And this area here is where you can instantly go over to your computer, grab that file, attach it, and then it'll automatically be put into our system and we'll get it. And when you're done, you click submit. Very tiny up here, it says your request was successfully submitted. But it does, you'll also get an email in your email inbox that says you've sent a ticket, we've received it, and then we'll respond to you within 24 hours.
And
where is this? How did you get here? I mean,
so,
if I had a request, where do you go?
Yep, so we started off over here at the No Sweat website, and there's a red button up in the top left corner called Help Center.
So No Sweat websites. I've never been there. That looks like a pretty nice website.
Yep. So if you actually click that, it'll take you over to the same area and that button right up top here, submit a request.
Okay.